Hello students, today we are going to start our 5th chapter from a book Hornbill, and the name of the chapter is The Ailing Planet, The Green Movement's Role by Nani Palkhiwala. So let us begin with the introduction first. This chapter focuses on the factors that are responsible for the declining health of the earth. The chapter was originally an article written by Nani Palkhiwala, which was published in the newspaper The Indian Express on 24th November 1994. The writer discusses the green movement, how a zoo in Zambia declared human beings as world's most dangerous animals. The writer also focuses on overpopulation, deforestation, and what should be our responsibility towards the environment. Now let us begin our chapter. The following article was written by Nani Palkhiwala and published in the Indian Express on 24th November 1994. The issues that he raised regarding the declining health of the earth continue to have relevance. One cannot recall any moment in world history which has gripped the imagination of the entire human race so completely and so rapidly as the Green Movement, which started nearly 25 years ago. In 1972, the world's first nationwide Green Party was founded in New Zealand. Since then, the movement has not looked back. So in this lines, gripped it means clutch or hold. Green movement is a movement which is traced people to follow environmentally friendly practices. So this chapter, The Ailing Planet, The Green Movement's Role, was an article published in the newspaper The Indian Express on November 24th, 1994, written by Nani Palkhiwala. He wrote about the declining health condition of Earth. The Green Movement, which started nearly 25 years ago from 1994, spread so quickly in world history. The world's first nationwide Green Party was founded in New Zealand in 1972. Now next paragraph. We have shifted, one hopes, irrevocably from the mechanistic view to a holistic and ecological view of the world. It is this shift in human perceptions as revolutionary as that introduced by Copernicus, who taught mankind in the 16th century that the earth and the other planets revolved around the sun. For the first time in human history, there is a growing worldwide consciousness that the earth itself is a living organism, an enormous being of which we are parts. It has its own metabolic needs and vital processes which need to be respected and preserved. So in these lines, irrevocably it means in a way that cannot be changed or reversed. Holistic and ecological view, it means a view for the preservation of the environment. It also refers to the understanding of importance of earth resources for the use of future generations. Revolutionary, it means evolving a complete change. Metabolic needs, it means needs of a living organism that enables them to have a chemical process that causes food to be used for growth and energy. So from some time our views have shifted from seeing earth and its resources as irreversible to complete opposite. We now understand that our resources need to converge for future generations. Copernicus taught mankind how the earth and other planets revolve around the sun, and it was a complete change which evolved human perception. Now the earth is seen as a living organism of which we are an integral part. Earth has its own metabolism and vital needs which humans should respect and preserve. Now, next paragraph. The Earth's vital signs reveal a patient in declining health. We have begun to realize our ethical obligations to be good stewards of the planet and responsible trustees of the legacy to future generations. The concept of sustainable development was popularized in 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development. In its report, it defined the ideas as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Without stripping the natural world of resources future generations would need. In this paragraph, ethical obligation, it means when someone is required to do something based on a righteous standard of rules. Stewards, it means manage or to look after. Sustainable development, it means economical development without depletion of natural resources. So in these lines, Earth is now like a patient whose health is declining. We as human beings are now realizing our duty to be good managers of the planet and to be a responsible trustees to conserve the environment so that we can pass a legacy to the future generations. Sustainable development was popularized in the year 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development. In the reports, sustainable development is termed as a type of development that meets the needs of the present generation without wasting or compromising with natural resources so that future generations can meet their needs. Now next paragraph. In the zoo at Lusaka, Zambia, there is a cage where the notice reads, "The world's most dangerous animal." Inside the cage, there is no animal but a mirror where you see yourself. Thanks to the efforts of a number of agencies in different countries, a new awareness has now dawned upon the most dangerous animal in the world. He has realized the wisdom of shifting from a system based on domination to one based on partnership. Scientists have catalogued about 1.4 million living species with which mankind share the earth. Estimates vary widely as regards the still uncatalogued living species. Biologists reckon that about 3 to 100 million other living species still languish unnamed in ignominious darkness. So here dawned it means begin, catalogued it means classify or characterize, reckon it means calculate, languish it means lose or lack of vitality of a person or planet or animal. Ignominious darkness it means disgraced as no one has knowledge about them. So in this line, in a cage in a zoo in Lusaka, Zambia, there reads a notice, "The world's most dangerous animal," and inside the cage is a mirror that depicted that humans are the world's most dangerous animals. With the efforts of new agencies in the world, now humans are seen as the most dangerous animals. They have realized the importance of shifting to a new system based on partnership. Humans share the earth with about 1.4 million living species according to this classification of scientists. Biologists calculate that there are still millions of other species which are yet not classified due to their weakness or due to lack of knowledge about them. Now next lines. One of the early international commission which dealt inter alia with the question of ecology and environment was the Brand Commission, which had a distinguished Indian as one of its member, Mr. L.K. Jha. The first Brand report raised the question, are we to leave our successor a scorched planet of advancing desert, impoverished landscapes and ailing environment? So in these lines, inter alia it means among other things, scorched it means burn the surface with heat of fire, impoverished it means made poor, ailing it means in poor health, weak. So here Brand Commission was one of the early international commissions who dealt with questions of ecology and environment. They commissioned Mr. L.K. Jha as one of their commission members who was an Indian citizen. Its first report raised a question that, are we going to leave a burnt planet with arid desert, poor landscapes and a poor environment for our future generations? Now, next paragraph. Mr. Lester R. Brown, in his thoughtful book, the Global Economic Prospect, points out that the Earth's principal biological system are four: fisheries, forest, grasslands and croplands, and they form the foundation of the global economic system. In addition to supplying our food, these four systems provide virtually all the raw materials for industry except minerals and petroleum derived synthetics. In large areas of the world, human claims on this system are reaching an unsustainable level, a point where their productivity is being impaired. When this happens, fisheries collapse, forests disappear, grasslands are converted into barren wastelands, and croplands deteriorate. In a protein conscious and protein hungry world, overfishing is common every day. In poor countries, local forests are being decimated in order to procure firewood for cooking. In some places, firewood has become so expensive that what goes under the pot now costs more than what goes inside it. Since the tropical forest is, in the words of Dr. Myers, the powerhouse of evolution, several species of life face extinction as a result of its destruction. So in these lines, synthetics, it means artificial substance; impaired, it means weakened or damaged; barren wastelands, it means barely inhabitable piece of land; deteriorate, it means become progressively worse or decline; decimated, it means to reduce in number; and procure, it means obtain with care or effort. So in these lines, there are four principal biological systems that form the foundation of the global economic system according to the book by Lester R. Brown, The Global Economic Prospect: fisheries, grasslands, forests and croplands. These four systems provide food and raw materials for industry except for minerals and synthetics. These systems have reached an unsustainable point where their productivity has impaired. With this, fisheries will collapse, the forest will slowly disappear, grassland will turn into barren wasteland, and croplands will become worse. Overfishing is very common nowadays, where people are becoming protein conscious. In poor countries, forests are being cut down on a large scale to obtain wood for cooking. In some areas, firewood is more costly than food. Many species are under destruction in tropical forest. Now next paragraph. It has been well said that forests precede mankind, desert follow. The world's ancient patrimony of tropical forest is now eroding at the rate of 40 to 50 million acres a year, and the growing use of dung for burning deprives the soil of an important natural fertilizer. The World Bank estimates that a five-fold increase in the rate of forest planting is needed to cope up with the expected fuel wood demand in the year 2000. James Speth, the president of the World Resources Institute, said the other day, "We were saying that we are losing the forest at an acre a second, but it is much closer to an acre and a half to a second." In these lines, precede, it means come before in order or position. Patrimony, it means property inherited from father or ancestor. Deprives, it means prevent a person from using something. So in these lines, forest and desert come first in order in comparison to humans. The ancient inheritance of tropical forest is constantly wearing away at the rate of 40 to 50 million acres a year. Also, the burning of dung is preventing the soil to become natural fertilizer. To meet the need for fuel wood demand, there is a need to increase the rate of forest plantation by fivefold by the year 2020. We are losing the forest closer to an acre and a half to a second, according to James Speth, president of the World Resources Institute. Now, next paragraph. Article 48A of the Constitution of India provides that the state shall endeavour to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard the forest and wildlife of the country. But what causes endless anguish is the fact that laws are never respected nor enforced in India. For instance, the Constitution says that casteism, untouchability, and bonded labour shall be abolished, but they flourished shamelessly even after 44 years of the operation of the Constitution. A recent report of our Parliament Estimates Committee has highlighted the near catastrophic depletion of India's forest over the last 4 decades. India, according to reliable data, is losing its forests at the rate of 3.7 million acres a year. Large areas officially designated as forest land are already virtually treeless. The actual loss of forest is estimated to be about 8 times the rate indicated by government statistics. So in this paragraph, endeavor it means trying hard to achieve something, anguish it means pain or suffering, casteism it means discrimination on the grounds of caste, catastrophic depletion it means a harmful reduction in a number of something. So according to the Article 48A of the Constitution of India, the state should try to protect and improve the environment and must protect the forest and wildlife of the country. But the painful fact is that laws are not followed in India. For example, casteism, untouchability, and bonded labour. They are abolished but still are followed shamelessly. Over the last 4 decades, India is losing forest at a harmful rate of 3.7 million acres a year as per the report of Parliament Estimates Committee. The large area of forest land is now treeless and the actual loss is estimated to be 8 times the rate given by government statistics. Now, next paragraph. A 3-year study using satellites and aerial photography conducted by the United Nations warns that the environment has deteriorated so badly that it is critical in many of the 88 countries investigated. There can be no doubt that the growth of world population is one of the strongest factors distorting the future of human society. It took mankind more than 1 million years to reach the first billion. That was the world population around the year 1800. By the year 1900, a second billion was added, and the 20th century has added another 3.7 billion. The present world population is estimated at 5.7 billion. Every 4 days, the world population increases by 1 million. In this paragraph, distorting it means deformed or disfigured. So, according to the 3-year study conducted by the United Nations using satellites and aerial photography, our environment has got so bad that in 88 countries it has reached the critical stage. Growth of world population at such a fast rate is one of the strongest reasons behind the restoration of the future of mankind. When it took more than 1 million years to reach the first billion population, in the next 100 years, the population number increased by the next billion numbers. In the 20th century, the population reached 3.7 billion and the present number is 5.7 billion. So presently the case is of the population increasing by 1 million every 4 days. Now next paragraph. Fertility falls as incomes rise, education spreads and health improves. Thus, development is the best contraceptive. But development itself may not be possible if the present increase in number continues. The rich get richer and the poor beget children, which condemns them to remain poor. More children does not mean more workers, merely more people without work. It is not suggested that human beings be treated like cattle and compulsorily sterilized, but there is no alternative to voluntary family planning without introducing an element of coercion. The choice is really between control of population and perpetuation of poverty. In these paragraphs, beget it means give life to, condemns it means find guilty of something, sterilized it means make free from bacteria or other microorganism, voluntary it means done or given of one's free will, coercion it means force, and perpetuation it means keep going. In this paragraph, development is the best possible solution for overpopulation. It can help in reduction in fertility and rise in income, to spread more education and improvement in health. But if the number of population will keep increasing, it may not help in attaining any kind of development. As the rich get richer, the poor births children who are bound to remain poorer. More population will lead to more unemployment. Humans should not be treated like cattle who are sterilized by force. But to control population, some element of force has to be put on for family planning. Now, humans have to choose between population control and keeping up with poverty. Now, next paragraph. The population of India is estimated to be 920 million today, more than the entire populations of Africa and South America put together. No one familiar with the conditions in India would doubt that the hope of the people would die in their hungry hutments unless population control is given topmost priority. For the first time in human history, we see a transcending concern, the survival not just of the people but of the planet. We have begun to take a holistic view of the very basis of our existence. The environmental problem does not necessarily signal our demise, it is our passport for the future. The emerging New World vision had ushered in the era of responsibility. It is a holistic view, an ecological view, seeing the world as an integrated whole rather than a dissociated collection of parts. In this paragraph, hutments it means collection of huts. Transcending concern it means a concern that existed for a very long time and has passed down from one generation to another. Demise it means death, and assured it means guide someone or somewhere. So in this paragraph, the population of India is 920 million, that is more than the population of Africa and South America together. If the population is not controlled, most of the people would die in their huts with just a hope. But with time, people are now concerned about the survival of the planet. We have now started to see our existence with a comprehensive view. Solving environmental problems are a passport to the future and should not be seen as a remark of our death. We should see the world as a whole and not as different parts. Now, next paragraph. Industry has a most crucial role to play in this new era of responsibility. What a transformation would be effected if more businessmen share the view of the chairman of DuPont, Mr. Edgar S. Bullard, who 5 years ago declared himself to be the company's chief environmental officer. He said, our continued existence as a leading manufacturer requires that we excel in environmental performance. Of all the statements made by Margaret Thatcher during the years of her prime ministership, none has passed so decisively into the current coin of English usage as her felicitous words, no generation has a freehold on this earth. All we have is a life tenancy with a full repairing lease. In the words of Mr. Lester Brown, we have not inherited this earth from our forefathers, we have borrowed it from our children. In this paragraph, decisively it means clear and definitive. Felicitous it means well chosen. Freehold it means permanent tenure of land or property. Tenancy it means possession of the land. So in this paragraph, in the era of responsibility towards the environment, industry plays an important role. chairman of DuPont, Mr. Woolard declared himself as Chief Environmental Officer, and such attitude in other businessmen can have a great effect on the transformation. When Margaret Thatcher was the Prime Minister, her one statement, which was so well chosen, she said that no human on this earth holds a permanent tenure. We all have life possession and a full repairing lease. According to Mr. Lester Brown, we have borrowed the earth from our children. So, in this chapter, our writer describes that from many decades, humans are using the resources of the earth at a very alarming rate without worrying about future generations. Now, the environment has become critical enough that humans must realize the era of responsibility towards it. With quite some time, human perception is changing and the earth is seen as a holistic and ecological view. Earth is seen as a living organism which has its own metabolic and vital needs. We must protect the resources for future generations. Use of sustainable development, which means meeting the needs of the present generation without compromising with future generations. Thus, the earth's resources should be utilized in a way that doesn't affect the future. So with this, our chapter 5, The Ailing Planet, The Green Movement's Role by Nani Palkhiwala is completed over here. Thank you.